Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin, and today we're in black and white at the start of this video, and you know what that means. It's a palette bingo. It is time to do the monthly hashtag bingo of shame collaboration. This is hosted by Dubs Beauty Diary and Makeup and the Mundane. I will leave all their information below, and this is basically a monthly collab of using what you have, doing palettes that are in our pile of shame from different people that collaborate. I did not have the Oden's Eye Planet Spirit collab with Betty Jean that was selected this month, so I'm going to be duping it, but maybe it'll give you an idea for the process of like how to go about duping and finding things and still coming up with similar pretty spot on vibes. So if that sounds good to you, keep on watching. Before we get too far into the video, if you have not already, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. I upload videos twice a week. It's totally free to subscribe, and I would love to have you back again on the channel for all things makeup. I am using all indie brands to dupe today. So, I mean, Oden's Eye is an indie brand as well, but if you're new to my channel, I love indie eyeshadow, so you're in a treat. I'll show you some good oldies that you can use to get this look. Let's go ahead and get into the random number generator. Okay, so let's see what the random number generator has in store for us, and then we'll pick some shades that we can dupe out here. So I've got it set to 1 to 10. That's how many are in the Oden's Eye Planet Spirit palette collab with Betty Jean. Here is a picture I'm using for reference that someone shared with me in the Bingo of Shame collab group I'm in. And we're going to pick 5 shades, okay? So generate. First up, number 10. Okay, number 10 is called Sanctuary, and it's like a very bright berry. Okay, next up, number 5. And number 5 is, what is this called? Majestic, I think. So we've got the 2 on the end. We've got this like kind of berry pinkish matte, and then this sparkly yellow Majestic. And I've got the description of these shades from when it was first released, so I'm basically going to use those descriptions to try to find dupes, and I'll tell you what I'm using instead to like dupe it once I find those in my collection. Next up is number 3, another shimmer. This is Animalia, and it's maybe like an orange shimmer, it looks to be. We've also got number 5 again. We already have that, so I'm going to re-pick. Number 9. Okay, number 9 is the purple shimmer Kindred. And we got 10 again. We got 3 again. 10 again. Goodness, I don't think I've ever had this many like duplicates in a random generator before. But I know if we're picking 5 and there's only 10 possibilities, you know, there's obviously a higher probability we'll get the same thing twice. All right, and number 8, which is Habitat. This kind of orange. By the way, I went 1 through 5, 5 through 10. And so those are our 5 shades. I'm going to go off camera and search through my collection, see what I can find that might be able to dupe this, and then I'll be back with a plan and we'll do the look. Okay, that took me a lot longer than I suspected, but that's okay. I really tried to get close. I think the orange I picked is a little more neon than probably the orange in that palette, but I'm hoping by the time it all goes together on the eyes, it'll be the same vibes at least. So the first 3 shades here, the kind of rosy red matte, the orange matte, and the purple shimmer, those are all coming from the Blend Bunny Surge palette. So the shade Maybe is kind of like the rosy red that I chose. The Neon Power, again, that's a little punchier, I think, than what's in the Planet Spirit Planet, whatever. But I think it's going to be similar vibes. And then Euphoric, the shimmer here. Then what took me the longest was finding a yellow shimmer and an orange shimmer. So me realizing I don't actually have a ton of those in my collection, which is fine. But I finally found a yellow in the Glam Light Ice Cream palette. Shade Lemon is the yellow shimmer. And now I don't know exactly how close these shimmers are because in the descriptions, it just says a shimmer with multicolor reflect. I don't know which colors are the multicolor reflect. So these are just shimmers. I didn't worry too much about what reflect shifted in them since it wasn't in the description and you can't really tell in my opinion from the photo. And then from Glamlight as well, the Rick and Morty palette. There are no shade names on this palette, one of my gripes about it. This shimmery orange here. So this is our color story. Honestly, not too bad. Could be worse as far as cohesion is concerned. And I think I've got a plan here. So I'm going to put eyeshadow primer on and we'll start. All right, so we're zoomed in a little bit here. We're going to start with the Surge palette. And I'm going to start with Power here, the really punchy orange. And I'm going to try to go super lightly and just put that in the front part of the look in the crease here. It is extremely punchy and neon though, so it's kind of hard just to do a little bit. Like you almost have to just commit to this is bright orange and that's what I'm wearing. It's not a demure little hidden shade for sure. It's screaming I am here, I am orange. Orange is probably one of the colors I wear the least when it comes to eyeshadow, honestly. And it's not even that I like don't like it necessarily. I don't know, I just don't gravitate towards it for some reason. So nice little chance here for me to, by the fate's hand, incorporate some orange in here where I might not normally. And I'm just blending it out so that it does look more like a crease slash transition shade and not so packed on vibrant crazy, being that I'm using it as a crease shade here. And then I'm going to switch brushes here to go in the outer corner. I'll put Maybe, which is supposed to be our more like rosy reddish shade here. And I'm going to use that as like our deepening up color since it's the darkest color. Maybe the shimmer purple is a little dark too, but compared to the orange, at least it'll be darker to give us a little dimension here. And if you are new to my channel, I love a blown out, like smoked out look. So nothing new with that here. And then I'm just gonna attach like in the outer corner up here what we did with the orange so that it looks kind of blended together or something like that. Now I think what I'm going to do after this matte is stay in the Surge palette and go ahead and do the shimmer, the purple shimmer, just because that is the deepest of the three shimmers, right between the yellow, the orange, and the purple. And I'm going to have the purple be kind of like the transition shimmer to go from this like red rose maybe shade, just running a little of what's left on the brush on the outside of the lower lash line there. And then I think I'm going to do the orange shimmer from the next palette on the rest of the lid after the purple shimmer. That's my plan at least. And I think we're going to get it to come out to be a cohesive thing. So again, I'm going in with Euphoric here. This purple. The All Mine next to it looked a little too like pink or berry leaning in comparison. So this one looked closer to me from the kind of reference photo that I was using. And this is the OG Surge, guys. So this is like the original Blend Bunny shimmer formula. But again, part of the fun of the hashtag bingo of shame is to use things you already have or to dupe like I am right now and use those things that you already have in your collection instead of buying everything. And like I said, orange is one of the shades I go for least, and honestly all of these. I don't think I had ever used Maybe or Power in this palette before, so obviously I didn't need to buy the Oden's Eye one when I know those aren't shades I reach for a lot. That being said, I'm glad to be doing this, to be using shades that I clearly have somewhere in my collection, even if I had to hunt a little bit there. Nice. So we've got the orange, the rose, and now the purple. So we're gonna be done now with the Surge palette. really should use her more. It's been a hot minute since I've used that one. And we're gonna go to the orange. So again, this is the Glamlight Rick and Morty. I thought of Glamlight because those are some of my more colorful palettes in my collection. And it, like I said, I looked through some Salem Cosmetics, some Fantasy Cosmetica, some other brands too that I was like, do I have one? And a lot of the orange shimmers I have were a little too copper bronzy. They weren't quite like an actual bright light orange the way this one is. So again, no shade name, but that's the orange. I'm just using the same flat brush. This looks way more sparkly, this formula, and I believe it is the Glamlight formula versus the Blend Bunny. So I'll get a little more sparkle here in the front from the orange. And I'm just gonna try to take that up to the orange we used in the crease and blend a little bit here in the middle. I know purple and orange, I don't want to like over blend it and have it look kind of weird in the middle there, but I also don't want it to just be like a harsh line where one ends and the other begins. Definitely a colorful look. I'm wondering if my family will say anything. I'm wearing this out to lunch. We're going, today is Father's Day, the day I'm filming this, and we're going out to lunch in public, so you know, whatever this turns out to be, that is what it's gonna be and what I'm gonna wear publicly. But I wonder if they'll, sometimes they're like, ooh, that's an eye look, you know, like they don't technically insult it, but they kind of, it's the shade, it's the shade, you know. So now we've got the yellow shimmer left, and I left that one for last because it's a lighter one, and I'm gonna try to use that like as an inner corner shade. I don't often do shadow as it is on the lower lash line. I have a lot of creases. It's not even age fine lines, really, I've come to realize. It's just I have a lot of creases down here. Some people just have that genetically. Like my niece is a year old and she has crinkles around her eyes. It's just something we have. So I do find that the shadow like settles into those for me. So I avoid putting a lot down there for that reason. I have a heck of a time with concealer. So now we're going in with the yellow shimmer. Again, this is Lemon from the Glamlight Ice Cream palette. Do they still sell this palette? I honestly don't know. Ooh, that's actually really pretty as an inner corner. I don't use this palette a lot because I actually find that the mattes don't pack a punch the way I would like to. They're kind of weak for pastels, at least in my opinion. But this yellow shimmer is actually giving. I've been liking doing this little swoop upwards here. So I'm gonna swoop this shimmer to kind of connect to that orange punchy shade that we put first. And then I'm gonna do a little bit on the front half of the lower lash here, kind of before it gets to those creases I was talking about. Wow, I really like that yellow, actually. I like that a lot. Okay. Now I know to be true to the challenge I should stop here, right? But even with mascara, I never feel like this still feels incomplete to me. I need a little liner. I just need it. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of, what do I have here that needs used? Let me find a liner. A little bit of a black liner here along the lash line. I've got this Duce, however you say it, Old Ipsy black gel liner. Kohl liner. So I'm going to run a little bit on there, smudge it out a little bit so it's a little smokier, add mascara, some kind of a lip. I'll be back to show you the final look. Okay guys, and here is the final look. What do we think? Like I said, I added a little bit of just black Kohl liner there and smudged it out. Nothing too crazy. I have to have a little something most of the time at the lash line to make it look like a complete look to me. I think it turned out pretty well considering it was like a lot of bright colors. It's still a little out of my comfort zone. I did add to the waterline here on the bottom from Colourpop their cream gel liner in extra frosting. And then because the eye look was so much, I did decide just to go a little bit more simple with the lip. And we're duping Oden's eye after all. So I felt like, okay, let's use an Oden's eye product. This is their Glow Lip Gloss in collaboration with Annette, their Mighty Monster collection. And it is in shade Breath of Fire. So yeah, this is the colorful final look. I like this. I still think it is kind of a lot for me. More colors like with the purple, yellow, orange, rose than I would normally go with. but I like it. I think it's good. I think I did an okay job. I'm happy with it. Let me know, do you dupe things in your collection a lot, or do you just buy it? Or do you skip it? I would love to know in the comments. Thanks so much if you made it all the way to the end, and I hope to see you again on the next one. Bye!